Hello YouTube, RedAtMath here, and welcome back to the Red Estate. So, in the last episode, we had some bizarre occurrences. Likely a bug, but in my own personal narrative, maybe some crazy timey-wimey ball happened, and we ended up with some characters leveling up far more than they should, gaining like 21 experience instead of 2 off of a short dungeon. Now, I've decided to go ahead and restart with a new save for a few reasons. One, I know there would always be a certain demographic that would totally think that that was unfair and that I had just gotten a bunch of level 4 heroes, and the other problem being the reality, which is I actually think a group of 4 level 4 heroes on like week 4 is a huge disadvantage because I wouldn't have been able to use them for anything until I leveled up their skills and equipment, and I wouldn't have had the money to do that. So I've gone ahead and restarted and then played back up to this point. We were only a couple of weeks in, and I didn't want to just restart the tutorials all over again. Like, we still haven't unlocked all of the things, and so I've just gone ahead and done the starting runes adventure and then one more. I wished I could have gotten the exact same classes off of the stagecoach, but you know, that was a huge roll of the dice and unlikely to have ever happened. I have gone ahead and brought back Weald and Patrick from the previous journey, and 2 additional characters that asked on the last video when I asked for Vestals that we still needed a name. And so I've gone ahead and named Unro, and Coco here after 2 other people. That does mean we've got several new characters, and 2 of them being a Jester and a Houndmaster. Now, the Southern in me wants to call that Frizzle, but I would think that it's probably fancy and French and something like Frelay. So who knows? But we've got our Jester right now, Second Wind, Steady, Weak Grip on Life, Zoophobia, a decent array of skills as well. I'm actually pretty excited about that. And Cardinal, who is a Clotter, Balanced, missing the spot is not so great, and Tuckered Out could actually be kind of awful. So yeah, a few other things have happened. Obviously, our traits, or our quirks rather, have not quite gone in the same direction. Reynald ended up with On Guard, already locked in Warrensphobe on Dismas, Clutch Hitter, Beast Slayer, Claustrophobia, Satanophobia, Torn Rotator Cuffs, Deadly, Irrepressible. She's already locked in both Fear of the Eldritch and Scattering. Wow, and that was after like the first adventure that she goes on. That's kind of crazy. Okay, and Patrick has seen slightly different, mostly combat skills are a little bit different here. He does not have Come Hither. It is instead been replaced by Mark for Death. But otherwise, pretty decent stuff there. He's a Stress Faster and a Weapons Tinker. Automatophobia. Yeah, that word. And Clumsy. Alright. Oh, and finally Coco. Last but certainly not least. Sorry, Coco. Evasive, Second Wind, Pyromania, misses the spot. She, in contrast to these 2, you'll see, like, Unru has Mace Bash and a Hand of Light, and therefore it's weird because she has no middle ground. Either she's using these in the back or these in the front. Coco, on the other hand, has Judgment and Divine Grace to be using for the back, but lacks Divine Comfort. If it gets up to the front, could be using Illumination or Hand of Light. Probably a 3rd slot makes the most sense, as 3 of their abilities are available there. Alright guys, enough with that. I am actually not going to take any time to level these guys up. I'm still... Oh, I used to say that level 0 characters were just that expendable and like it was never worthwhile to spend anything on them. But I'm a little bit concerned. You know what? Let's rethink this. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, you're gonna pray. you're going to meditate, and you're going to drink. And I don't know, I think she should get a little bit of de-stress just from not going out this week, and so I think that'll bring her down into an area I'm okay with. And then, so we've just unlocked the guild and the blacksmith.
Make no mistake, we will face ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
Now, the guild... Okay, they would have to be level 1 to get any of the skills. Do they have to be level 1 to...
The bellows blast once again. The forge stands ready to make weapons of war.
They have to be level 1 in order to get these as well. Okay, so I guess it's not really my decision to be making here. And then there's a bit of a gap there. Interesting. 3, it goes 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah. Alright. Well, these heroes, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to level them up, but they're not expendable by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to go ahead and pop into the Weald, as I am always starved for deeds right off the bat and would like to focus on those. And we get some lovely dog biscuits to bring along with us. Say 3 shovels. I hate the Weald, and it always has way too many obstructions. And we'll go with like 2 of each of those. 1 of those. 1 of those. Again, over provisioning to the rescue. Okay, I'm okay with that. I think that'll be a decent mix. Now, why are our characters not so expendable? Because we are going to be playing through on New Game Plus, obviously. And within New Game Plus, there is a lose condition.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
Something that was pointed out that I had not really considered until today on the...
Mind that such missteps are the exception and not the rule.
On the Darkest Dungeon subreddit is the limit for how many characters can die and you can still beat the game is actually 10, not 13. And there's a reason for that. That reason being, the final fight is going to ask you to sacrifice 2 of your characters. And the lose condition will kick in combat, not when returning back to the town or anything like that. So that would mean if you left for the Darkest Dungeon with 11 people in your graveyard, you would hit 12 and 13 during the final fight, only to lose the game because of it. That's pretty harsh, not gonna lie. There's some serious disappointment set up to happen there. But it does mean that our actual limit, if we intend to get through the game, is going to be only 10 heroes dying. Ooh, that was actually very, very good. Okay. We did not bring any keys, but the luggage can use either keys or anti-venom. Alright, handful of Gnashers. They surprised us. Not super excited by that. Well then, we could pull some stress damage off, or we start moving up. Patrick, do you do much of anything from the back? You really don't. Okay. Well then, we'll go ahead and just play the silly stress-relieving fool for a minute and let our... no, yep, we are bleeding. Yep, I'm well aware. Let's go with this.
A decisive pummeling.
Nice. Ending bleed on all of them is pretty cool. I am super okay with that. That guy would actually bleed out now. Damage modifier. Minus 50, minus 50. 1 is minus 20 dodge. I think Hand of Light is the much better idea. So with you,
as the fiend falls,
we're not going to get close
hope blossoms
to killing anybody with such a simple attack. Yeah, the opening shuffle was actually pretty bad, all things considered. It's causing me to...
Ringing ears.
Ow!
Blurred vision. The end approaches.
It's causing me to have to make some pretty severe sacrifices as far as skill choice in this combat, and I'm not super excited about that. We're basically going to do the exact same thing. She is by far our most stressed companion. Could you guys have any higher speed? I mean, I'm just... seriously. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this one again. You. I don't think it really mattered all that much, to be perfectly honest. And I can do 1 to 2. 2 actually wouldn't even kill, so we're not going to do that. Let's 5 to 9. Let's do him. We'll let the bounty hunter worry about one of the others. Need to do 8 damage. We did not do 8 damage. That is unfortunate. That is more unfortunate. I should probably bandage her. Okay. Let's just take you out this turn.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
And I guess continued... No, you know what? We should be able to kill this guy this turn. And so...
Press this advantage.
Let's not worry about
no
it.
Quarter.
Okay. That's unfortunate. 2 for 2, 2 for 4. You know what? We'll use the bandage there. Let's get everybody back into an order that I am more comfortable with. And then we'll check out our ancient coffin. Maybe you? What do you got? Insight into the nature of the world. Less stress damage. Okay. Considering we are actually in the Weald, I'm totally okay with that. Alright then. Gonna move on. Let's go ahead and use this on the beast carcass. Grab ourselves a whole gaggle of food, which can help offset a little bit of the damage that we took in that fight when we weren't able to do any healing. Yep, and the first of
Nature
probably
herself,
many.
A victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
Hello, Mr. Madman. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. That's less nice. Okay. Decent. Especially landing the bleed. Monsters with high protection. It's a good tooltip. Some monsters have high prot, which absorbs attack damage. Damage over time, such as blight and bleed, ignore prot, and are effective means to take down these highly armored opponents. Totally valid. I think, you know, there were a lot of people very upset with the introduction of the protection mechanic. And I think that you can make yourself feel a whole lot better about it if instead of considering these guys resistant to physical damage, if you would instead just think of them as being vulnerable to damage over time. What do I mean by that? Well, what if they had given him 33 HP and 0 protection? That's effectively what's going on, right? Like, he loses a third of the physical damage done to him, just kind of goes away. What do I want to do with this? You know what? Let's stack a little more bleed on you. A third of the physical damage on him just sort of goes away due to protection. So what if instead he just had straight 33 HP and no protection at all? What would that mean? Well, his resistance to damage over time would effectively be increased, right? Like he would now take 33 damage over time to be killed instead of the 22 that he takes now. And that's how I've always tried to look at it. And I realize I'm sort of ignoring Mr. Madman here, but I feel like the fungal scratchers are actually fairly dangerous from an HP perspective. And we are probably going to need to do some stress reduction.
Death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Do some stress reduction anyway. Really? That did 0 damage. Wow. I was hoping to chip off a little bit there. I probably should have checked the tooltip, right? Okay. So let's see here. Let's just kill you.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And then I'll start worrying about this guy a little bit. Nice. We are going to see some fancy moves from our jester here. Assuming the fight lasts this long. Which it looks like it is going to. Okay. And now you. Wonderful. If I can stun you, I totally will. Awesome. You'll still die. But we can throw out a little bit of HP back to our jester friend. Good.
Death by inches.
Okay. Now, with all that said, had those guys had 33 HP from the beginning, people may very well have been screaming for how much HP they had and for that to be nerfed. It's not a perfect solution. But again, I think if you just view it that way, you're going to lose less sleep over it. And that's the way that I've always taken it, is these guys have less effective hit points when it comes to the damage over time. You know what? I think this is annoying enough. And we do get 2 dog treats, and we're coming up quick on not too much dungeon left. To kind of shift gears, talk about another game for just a moment. One of the reasons I think I do look at it that way is because of another game that I've played for several years, which is EVE Online. EVE Online is a massively multiplayer online RPG, kind of. Is that even still an appropriate term to throw on the end of MMO? It uses a system in it where your own hit points can never really be discussed as true hit points, because you have a myriad of resistances to different damage types. So EHP, or effective hit points, are the metric that is kind of measured, or that you, when you talk about the game, it's what you need to be talking about, because you can have things that have far fewer hit points, but the resistances are significantly higher, giving them a much higher effective hit points. And you only ever really need to consider the effective hit points when thinking about how hard something is to actually kill. And so that's the way I've always viewed protection in this game as well, is that there are simply basically 2 different damage types. Blight and Bleed aren't really all that separate. I feel like this guy's gone regardless. We got 3 other characters. Hopefully somebody acts before him. So why don't we go ahead and just take off a little bit of stress from Patrick, and then hope that I don't eat my words. I do not, which is awesome, and I can do that. Okay.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
I knew that if I started talking, he was just going to interrupt. So, there's really only 2 types of damage. There's either physical damage or the damage over time damage. Bleed and Blight aren't really separate. They can be resisted separately, but they do the same type of damage and the same amount of damage, really. So I've always sort of viewed protection under that same light, where it was just changing the effective hit point score. Ugh. Mr. Madman, welcome back. I love his gibberish. Reminds me of like the Sim speak. Not exactly the same, obviously, but that sort of, it feels like it should be words in a very Charlie Brown kind of way, where all the adults were like wah 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 at you. Oh, nice. I am so glad that connected. Lands the double bleed. Taking three. Awesome. Share a little bit of HP love. Not HP Lovecraft. That's a different influence. Okay. Fair. So I'm probably going to do another Hound's Rush across these guys. I'm not okay with this. Okay. You're definitely dead. You're... well... 5 to 10 there. You're taking 2. Let's go with you. Okay.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Okay. Let's say this is going pretty well. I would love to be able to possibly stun this guy and spend a turn getting a little more HP out there. But man, he is fast. Never mind. Speed 9. Okay. Okay. Really? You're gonna do that to me now? All right. Tell you what. Let's back away from the stress ledge just a little bit, and finally say goodbye to the Madman. Really? Okay.
Foolish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
It's not great, but that's actually kind of cool. I did not realize he could drop uncommon trinkets. Ugh. I'm worried that this is stress. No, it is energy. You are a night owl. Look at you go. You're never gonna have that, but okay. +2 speed if the torch gets low, which is, let's just say, unlikely to happen anytime soon. All of my experiments with low torchlight have not gone well. So the dog biscuit probably would have been better off in the previous fight, but that's okay. We'll use it now, and Hound's Harry can then tear these guys up. Yeah, it will. Okay. Does get
Slowly,
you?
gently. This is how a life is taken.
We will see if we get to act before this one, which we can then easily kill. Otherwise, if we do, go Coco, go.
Impressive.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. And I was worried about stress. Oh, so silly. Alright. Get that guy gone. And... super easy. Okay. We're gonna continue.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
I still kind of wish that it did not pop up in front of the screen. It's like one of the UI changes that I do not agree with. Many moons ago, in early access, the that whole quest complete thing in the center of the screen did pop up, and then it immediately, well, not immediately, but fairly quickly on its own, it would minimize itself up here. But they had people that apparently didn't like having to click up here and wanted to just click right here. I'm not sure exactly how that's easier, but apparently it was. Okay, and assuming that we can open this...
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
I really don't need an extra key. You know what? I can bring it back. Maybe I sell it for 5 or something. I'm not sure how much keys are worth.
The agents of pestilence will yet be driven from our woods.
But we are going to find out together Key is not sold back. Okay. Really? That's interesting. I don't know what decides what is and what is not sold back. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I am dumb. I just didn't catch it there. Okay. Not a bad haul. Okay with the 4 deeds plus the 4 deeds. Also, the Unholy Slayer's Ring is an early favorite of mine. As far as common trinkets are concerned, I think that is great when heading into the ruins. Eldritch Hater, Weald Scrounger, Weald Phobe. Can't blame you. There are times when I'm almost like, did she get that because of her stress in the Weald? But everything I've ever heard is that they're just completely random. They're not in any way based on the
plume and the pistol. A fitting end to my folly, and a curse upon us all.
They're not in any way based on the actual outcome from the adventure. Alright, so we gained 4 more level 1 heroes. Very happy with that. Little apprentices, aren't you cute? Coco is probably going to need to spend some time de-stressing. Gain calm. Ugh. Okay, everybody else got rid of their stress though. And the sanitarium is now unlocked for us. Nothing? Really? There's no how horrible the sanitarium is? Alright then. The sanitarium, of course, we can use to remove any of these negative quirks that we would like, and also to lock in any of the positive quirks we might like. And I think, especially in New Game Plus, right, where we have a very finite number of adventurers that are going to be coming through, like these guys, I'm going to fight to keep alive. And so, with that in mind, I really think positive quirks are worth locking in much earlier. And the reason for that being, we don't have infinite time to sort of rotate through them and try to get better ones. And it is much cheaper to treat quirks on level 1 characters than it is on level 6 characters. So, something to keep in mind there. Alright, I will probably be tossing a couple people into the sanitarium. I'll make some decisions about what the next party looks like off camera. But before we end, we're going to go back into the stagecoach. And we're going to do a couple things here. This is going to be...
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
It's going to be our new Rhapsody. As Rhapsody had already signed up previously, but then was lost to game-breaking bug. Now coming with Iron Swan instead of Barbaric Yop. Both very good. Probably would take both of them over Bleed Out. Okay, not too bad. And what else do I want then? All 3 of these seem like a super fantastic idea. Check out Gordon here. Scrounger, tuckered out. He's got a good array of skills. Okay, I can see that. Lacey, Clotter, Stress Faster. Weak Grip on Life is potentially very dangerous. But again, a pretty good array of skills. In my opinion, if you're Weird Reconstruction, which I think is the you always have, if you've got Abyssal Artillery and Sacrificial Stab, like, you are a good occultist. The others, Demon's Pull is okay. Hands from the Abyss is okay. Vulnerability Hex is good if you're going to be marking. But those are really the top flavor of the occultist to me. And finally, another Grave Robber. And... Okay. Not too bad. Shadow Fade, of course. Shadow Fade and Point Blank Shot are one of my favorite combos between a Grave Robber and a Highwayman. She's got Flashing Daggers, which is good. Lunge, which is good. Would like Thrown Dagger, maybe over Poison Darts. We'll see. I am going to end up recruiting all 3 of these guys, though.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
And again, we'll re-explain the rules. So, Reynald and Dismas they're going to be sticking with us until the end. We do have some current openings, though. So, from ear to here, right? If you would be interested in being a jester, crusader, occultist, grave robber, or a houndmaster, drop a comment on this episode, and we'll go with that. I'm throwing out, there have been people reserving some of these classes from time immortal, but I just don't care. If you've watched this video and actually know that they are here, let me know, and I will name one after you, and you will be able to join us on our little timey-wimey adventure. Hopefully we encounter no other crazy weird problems. I don't know why that happened on the last save. It didn't happen on this one, which is one of the other reasons I did the first few adventures off camera, is to make sure that it didn't just happen again, but it did not. So I think we should be fine from here on out. I'm going to worry about a little bit of upgrading and de-stressing of everybody in between episodes, but I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, feel free to subscribe for more videos on the channel every day. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other episodes, and I will catch you guys next time.